Oh my god! Oh god damn! So you're a noob, or are you? I mean, you did click on a video that's all about seeing if you're ready for a bigger motorcycle. That's right, I see you sitting at home seeking validation from your internet dad. It's okay, I love you. You don't need to try to overcompensate to show me you're all big and strong. Remember, the smaller the CC, the bigger the PP, unless you're on a Turbo Busa, then it's all about pounds of boost. Anywho, if you're in Europe, you've got a pretty clear path of progression, so this might be a bit of a foreign idea to you. I mean, you start on a 125, you move up to A2 with a 47-ish horsepower cap, and then you find the squid stone and evolve into a real boy. But here in the States, you can run out and buy yourself whatever bike your little heart desires whenever you want. You could literally have zero experience and walk out with the $50,000 loan and buy an H2R. But yam, surely a responsible dealership wouldn't sell a bike like that to a total beginner, right? Yeah, maybe, or maybe the juicy commission on leader bikes does more to lessen a salesman's scruples than you might think. Now, if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you started out on a 300 or 400cc bike, or you're thinking about doing so and wondering how long you should be hanging on to that bike and when you can reasonably run out and get yourself that Turbo Busa I keep shouting about. Well, joke's on you, you should have gotten that as your beginner bike. But seriously, I've spent some time meditating on this and coming up with 7 clear signs it might be time for a bigger motorcycle. You don't need all 7 in hand for this particular quest, but you should aim to hit as many as you can before stepping it up. Speaking of stepping it up, are you out there struggling to tame a pube thicket so dense no light can escape it? Wait, hold up, I gotta dial it back. I don't want to have another video demonetized by the ball shaver jokes. Seriously, that happened recently. Are you currently using a Gixxer 250 grade Amazon trimmer to get your manly bits clean? Does it not have the torque and range you need to get the job done? Well, get yourself the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. It's like going from that pathetic hobgoblin to the most patrician Busa with one upgrade. You'll be able to appreciate the supple power band and the extended battery life, meaning you don't have to stop halfway through to wait on a recharge. But the fun doesn't stop there. Manscaped has their all-new body wash, so you can not only keep your undercarriage nice and clean, but your whole self, because you deserve it. In fact, they have a whole entire range of products designed to keep you smelling like a rose. You should go and check it out. Click the link down in the description below and get all your grooming needs sorted with Manscaped. Oh, and before I forget, because I'm such a great guy, you'll get 20% off by just clicking the link down below. Don't ever say I never did nothing for you. Wait. Why did I just wink? You can't see it. Oh well, let's move past that. Sign number 1, you're due for an upgrade, is you've put down a lot of miles in a lot of different conditions. Now, there's no hard and fast number you should be looking to hit, because if that was the case, you could just hit the highway, cruise for 10,000 miles, and suddenly ascend to the next level on a spontaneous Gixxer that just appears underneath you. I've seen riders who've got tens of thousands of miles taking corners 10 below the speed limit because they've never practiced cornering, or riders who can drag an elbow at the track who can't do a whole day in the saddle because they don't have the stamina for a long ride. Or what happens if you get caught out in a rainstorm or a country road at night? It is not about the quantity of miles, but the breadth and experiences you've had. Take your beginner bike to the track, take a trip on it, ride in a group, ride it alone, ride at night, ride it in space, ride it underwater. Wait, you didn't know your motorcycle could double as a deep submergence vehicle? See, that's why you need to try different things. Yes, I'm serious. Take it to the beach tomorrow and ride it right into the water. No, don't do that. I'm just joking. Or am I? You'll never know. The point remains, if you've only done one type of riding, it doesn't make a lot of sense to get a new bike, because what if there's a discipline of riding that you don't know that you like? I'm not saying you need to run out and master road racing, trials riding, or whatever else a Harley bro tells you their newest patch on their vest means, but at least go try it. Once you've gotten a better idea of the kind of riding you like, then you're ready to step it up. Number 2, you've mastered some advanced techniques. And I'm not just talking about heading to a parking lot and mastering your slow speed balance and stuff like that. I mean, those are all well and good, and they're an important foundation that you'll build for the skill set for the rest of your life, but there's a lot of stuff you need to understand before you decide to hop on a big bike. The first being your ability to keep your eyes up and look farther ahead. With more speed comes longer braking distances, meaning you need to be able to see and react to things down the road before they become a problem. You can also adapt to this looking down the vanishing point mid-corners. You can spot the slow Harley bro who's about to layer down because his real peg started grinding at 15 degrees of lean and other road hazards. A big one you need to learn is throttle control. On beginner bikes, you don't instantly go into hyperspace face the second you accidentally twist the throttle a bit too much. On a big bike though, you'll experience the butt puckering acceleration that comes along with the motorcycle that's faster than a supercar. Being able to smoothly roll on the gas is important on a beginner bike for sure, but it can make the difference between making it home in one piece or forcefully inserting yourself into the windshield of a 1992 Geo Metro. We have a ton of videos on important skills you should master. If you want more info, check one of those out. The next step that you might be ready for your motorcycle is once you've paid off your first bike. This is more of a prudent financial advice from your old Papa Yam rather than a hard and fast rule, but big bikes are much more expensive than smaller bikes. Let's say you ran out and bought a brand new Ninja 400 at its $5,000 MSRP and you got it with a 10% down low and a 4.5% interest rate for 48 months. You've had the bike for a year, so how much do you still owe on the bike? Thanks to math, your monthly minimum is a little over $110, meaning you still owe $3,988.94, depending on whether or not your loan is structured to pay interest off first. Yeah, that's a whole lot, and thanks to depreciation, the second you put the key in the ignition, your new steed lost a whole lot of its value. Let's say it's valued at $3,500, meaning you've almost $1,000 upside down on this bike. So if you want an R1 priced at $17,399, all of a sudden it's going to cost $1,000 more. On the other hand, if you pay your bike off over another year, it's not going to be worth that much less, and your trade-in value is actually $3,000 instead of digging you deeper into the financial pit that is motorcycling. Also, if you want to try and sell your motorcycle privately, you're going to have a really hard time getting someone to take over the payments on your motorcycle or pay off the rest of your loan. Normally, people want private sales to end with them handing you a stack of hundreds and you giving them the keys and the title. You can't do that with a bike you still owe money on. Better yet, your beginner bike you could just buy all cash and be done with it in the first place. But number 4, you've learned to do some maintenance on your bike. I'm not saying you need to dive into your bike, drop the motor, and rebuild the bottom end or anything like that, but I am saying you should know the basics. Make sure you can lube your chain, adjust your levels, or replace your cables, take your wheels off, maybe even your plastics. You should have a base level of familiarity with how a motorcycle is built and maintained so you're not confused when you get on a newer, more complicated motorcycle. Not only will this increase your confidence in garage while you're tackling new and more complicated jobs on your bike, you'll start assembling a toolkit with things you won't find in baby's first mechanic's toolbox that you bought at Target for $20. Having and knowing how to use a torque wrench is transferable from a beginner bike to a Leather Daddy Cruiser or a Turbo Busa. It'll help inform your next purchasing choice. If you hate taking plastics off your beginner bike, it's not going to get any easier with more horsepower. Maybe you should just switch to a naked bike. Or maybe you're sick and tired of your single-cylinder motorcycle shaking and rattling, all the bolts loose and stuff falling off mid-ride. Then perhaps you should look at a smoother power plant like an inline 4. The 5th thing on this list is nice and simple. Have you gotten bored of your motorcycle? If you've put down enough miles on your bike, done all the mods you want, and you walk out and you aren't excited to see your bike sitting in the garage, then it's probably time to get another one. Some folks never tire of their bikes and they keep them until they have a 2-wheeled harem replete with machines that they never ride anymore. But if you're starting out, you might not have the cash to pay for the insurance and upkeep on 2 motorcycles, so you might as well ditch the old one for a new one. Now, don't mistake getting bored with the bike for being let down by a lack of power. If you ride a beginner bike, then a buddy lets you hop on his fast boy bike, you're probably going to sit down on your motorcycle and think it's slower than molasses in an Antarctic winter. That's because, relatively speaking, it is. But if you have an emotional attachment to the bike, by all means don't sell it. You never know, you might live to regret it, and there's no take-backsies. Number 6 is tangentially related to the last one, and that's you want a different style of bike. Let's stick with the assumption that you started on a Ninja 400, but now you want to try a fun, torquey, naked bike. Well, the one you're probably looking at something like an MT-07 or something a bit zestier. Or maybe you want to go off-road and you're interested in dual sports or ADVs, and you should check out the Touareg 660 and its litany of competitors. As a side note, have y'all noticed that the middleweight ADV segment basically exploded over the last few years? It's like suddenly everyone wants one or has one. MV Agusta's about to make one. Either way you slice it, changing styles of bikes is a great opportunity to look into something with a bit more oomph than your beginner bike. However, if you're planning on going from something like a Z400 to a Super Sport, it would make a bit more sense to go for something in the 600 class as opposed to going straight to a leader bike. I mean, 40-ish horsepower to 200 is a pretty substantial jump, and I really don't recommend it. Nah, who am I kidding? Let's be honest. You're probably heading off to the dealership, signing away your next decade of financial stability for a quick dalliance of eye-watering top speed and the inevitable rain of tickets and court dates. Last up, and it's one for the track day junkies out there, you're actually fast at the track. If you spend a whole bunch of time at the track on your beginner bike and you're convinced the track day riding is for you, you should keep that little bike as long as you can to learn good form and techniques. A lot of the skills you learn on a little bike will translate to feeling more comfortable on a big bike. If you've hit a point where you feel like you've learned everything that bike has to teach you, then go and learn one more thing on it. And after that, it might be time to consider stepping it up. However, it might also be worth keeping that little bike in the stable to convert into a full-time track toy, or just leave as a beater training tool. It's always good to go back and practice the fundamentals from time to time. Once again though, I would recommend an incremental increase, not jumping straight to a Panigale V4R, because hitting wide open throttle on the back straight and watching the speedo keep climbing deep into the triple digits might do more to scare you than thrill you. Just saying. Fact. Madam C.J. Walker is thought to be America's first self-made female millionaire. Born to sharecroppers in 1867, she made her fortune selling beauty products for black women. Goodbye. Well, my little squid, you've made it to the end of yet another Yammie Noob video. Thank you so much for watching. Just for you, got a little treat for you right over here. Brand new video for you. You can watch it, check it out. There's probably some squidding, some street riding, maybe some track riding. Maybe I'm binning my Ducati off-road. Who knows what's going on in that video? You should probably click on it and find out.